Well, hey folks, Real Honesty with John Ritland, my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 28 Night 10 event. And before I get started on this, I do want to say that for the Night 11 event, which is taking place on a Monday, due to the start time, I'm going to have to watch the first half before I go to work, so probably about the first 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending. And then I'm going to watch the last bit once I get home from work after about 8.5 hours, depending on how long my shift is. So that review will not go up until probably Monday afternoon, Monday evening, depending on, what your time zone is. So I hope you guys do give that a watch. And also thank you guys very much for making my New Japan reviews very popular. Apparently you guys really enjoy them. Over 5,000 combined views on all the reviews I've done. And considering there are some of them that have some low views, one of them in particular, I believe, is the Dominion Osaka Joe Hall review has over 400 views. So I just really want to thank you guys just before I get started. But anyway, Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero on commentary, and for Night 10, B block action and A block matches being hyped in the tag matches. I gotta be honest, a couple of B block matches left me a little bit and I'll get to those in a bit. So, tag matches. Hanare Makabe versus Tongalo and Bad Luck Fale. It was okay. Anytime you get the Tongans in a match, the OG Bullet Club, any members of them, whether it's all three, whether it's a couple of them, you're going to get outside action. You're going to get some interference, dirty tactics. Okay. I'm worried about Fale because it seems like he's favoring his knee. Hopefully he is okay, because I know he's dropped some weight, and maybe that was partly why. Maybe he dropped some weight to take some pressure off his knee, but he seems to be holding it a lot. Now, that could just be wear and tear and stuff like that. It just could be standard aches and pains. Hopefully, if he happens to be injured, they can give him some time off after this few weeks, because even though he's not technically sound, he is an integral part of this group, and him being there does help. Even if he's limited in the ring, he does serve a purpose. So hopefully, if he's injured, get some time off. So, this hyped up Bad Luck Fale versus Makabe, which should be fun until all the interference happens, for there is always interference in any match involving OG Bullet Club members. Decent action, apeshit for the win, as Rocky Romero puts it. The pin Hanare took the pin. Hanare is going to continue to shine, even in defeat. Can't wait to see what the young man does in the years going forward. Jay White and Yo versus Hangman Page and Chase Owens. It was decent. It was hype for Jay White versus Hangman Page. Rematch of their match at Strong Style Evolved. Good tag flow. Yo continues to shine. Shockingly, Chase Owens did not take the pin here. Yo did after the rite of passage by Hangman Page. So, it was what it was. These tag matches had a good flow to them. Even if a couple of them were a bit short, they didn't overstay their welcome. And considering how long the tag matches actually did last, I think it was 5 and about 75 minutes or close, 75 minutes or close to that. The show only went 3 hours total, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, Page and Chase Owens get the victory, and then we move on to Evil and Ibushi versus Suzuki and El Desperado. Evil's knee seems to be taped up. Hopefully he is okay. It could just be a way to play up an injury, but he was holding it the previous night or a couple nights ago, and hopefully he's going to be okay. It's a long tournament. Aches and pains, injuries are going to happen. But I would hate to see that kind of stuff limit the match quality or limit the ability for good stories to be told. So hopefully everybody's going to be okay and come out relatively unscathed. Wrestling ain't ballet. Injuries do happen. This was hype for Evil versus Suzuki, which hopefully Suzuki can do what he couldn't do against Tanahashi earlier in the tournament when he kept wrenching on the knee, and Tanahashi got the victory. It would be pretty cool if Evil... It would be pretty cool if Evil beats Suzuki, but I think Suzuki's going to beat Evil. And that's not necessarily bad. I mean, Evil, I think, has, 8 points in the A block? He could still end up with 10 to even 12. I mean, he could. I think he's actually going to probably end up with 10. And outside action immediately. Of course, Evil's knee was focused on. Gotch pile driver on Bushi for the win. Good enough stuff as you would get in a short tag match like this. And then Tanahashi and Shota Umino versus Yoshihashi and Sho. Fun fact, if you tried to take the first part of Yoshihashi or Tanahashi's name and mix it with the last part of either of them, you would end up with either Yoshihashi or Tanahashi, the more you know. Yes, I think of weird shit when I'm tired, and oh crap, am I tired. And then again, a lot of people are, but reviewing New Japan, especially live, is the least I can do as a wrestling fan, and for the fact these wrestlers put their lives on the line, their bodies on the line, least I can do is forego a little bit of sleep. It's all about having fun and watching wrestling, and that's what I like about New Japan, it's wrestling. So, this was a hype for Yoshihashi and versus Tanahashi, and Shota Umino. Young Lions are usually in the first match or two. Fourth match, nearly halfway through the card, and Shota is getting a better look about him. He's getting more confident in the ring, having a better showing. It was cool. I'm sure it was just a blast for him to team with Tanahashi. And Tanahashi seems like the kind that would help out the younger guys. I mean, I'm sure that there are others that do, but Tanahashi seems like the kind that would help out younger guys. And this was good for what it was. Obviously, it wasn't great, and Shota got pinned by Sho. So there he goes after a German bridge pin. So yeah, Yoshihashi and Sho got the victory, and then there was a stare down between Tanahashi and Yoshihashi. Pretty cool stuff, and we'll see what happens on them on Monday. Which again, that review will be up sometime Monday afternoon / evening, depending on your time zone. So, Finlay and Michael Elgin versus Okada and Goto. Usually when Elgin's in a match, especially if it's a tag match, I tend to check out. Of course, Okada's in it. I'm interested. Gato's just the fall guy there. Finlay's pretty good. Elgin, Okada hype, which they faced off before. They've had some pretty good matches. Okada seems to be able to get a good match out of people you wouldn't expect. Beard targeting. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, of course. Okada just having a blast and everything. Blast with the balloons. Blast with just enjoying himself. And apparently during his post-match promo, somebody had to translate it and put it up on YouTube. But they said Okada was worried that people thought his match with Yoshihashi was boring. It wasn't. It told a good story. When the fans said no, it wasn't, he was so happy. It wasn't a boring match. I mean, if people think that it was boring, okay, that's fine. You can think that if you want. I just didn't. Stunner pinned Goto. Of course, Goto took the pin. 101% of the time, Gato's in a match, he's going to take the pin. And then Tama Tonga versus Zack Sabre Jr. in the beginning of the B-block matches, and I'm sick of the interference. I get the whole point. OG Bullet Club, Firing Squad, Gorillas of Destiny, whatever you want to call them. They're trying to create anarchy. They don't care about the procedure of the G1. I get it. This is night 10. Enough of it. It's like this is the only thing that's dragging down the tournament, in my opinion. Only thing is dragging down the tournament. It's getting formulaic. So, enough, quite frankly. You had interference, as you would expect. Some good exchanges. Fale caused a DQ. Sabre Jr. has 6 points. I think Fale has more points than Tama Tonga. I think Fale has 4, Tama Tonga has 2. It is what it is. There's a good point to it. And yeah, it's probably going to lead to Tama Tonga versus Kenny Omega, if not at Wrestle Kingdom before that. But my God. I mean, of course, then again, they could probably end up interfering and causing Kenny to lose the G1 in the finals, possibly. Maybe. I mean, that would be my guess. That would be about the only reason I could see all this interference happening. If they did it a little less, though. Because it's not even protecting people at this point. Now it just seems formulaic and like lazy booking. Which I don't like because New Japan doesn't seem lazy with their booking. But again, maybe it'll pay off in the end. As of right now, I'm starting to sour on it. But that's the only aspect of this tournament I'm souring on. So Sabre Jr. gets victory. It was okay. It wasn't great. It's the least of the matches that Sabre Jr. has had. Tama Tonga is certainly better than this. And then Juice Robinson versus Yano. There were people that were saying Juice had said at some point that if he doesn't win in the G1, he'll forfeit the U.S. title and go back to WWE. I didn't see those comments, so I don't know how true that is. I would hope not, but he got the victory here, so, all bets are off there. I would hope he wouldn't go back to WWE. I did a video about that, by the way. It's Rapid Fire episode 67 if you want to check out my full comments on that. And other talents that could go to New Japan or go to WWE. You could check that out. Handshakes, and then you start off with handshakes and goofiness and stuff like that between the guys. And then Yano's cheating, using a chair on Juice's hand, using tape to wrap his hand around the guardrail. Turnbuckle, saber fight, that was pretty cool, using the turnbuckles and that kind of stuff. That was pretty cool. Juice did get the win, Pulp Friction. Juice gets his first 2 points. So I think it's, let's see, Juice at 2, Yano at 2. Juice will only probably get 6 points. But I'm going to be interested to see where they go with him, because he's going to have challengers lined up for his U.S. title. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's going to tell a good story. His hand's going to be healed. He actually at one point took off the cast to use his hand. That way he didn't have a weapon. I think his hand is almost fully healed. At least I would hope so. They're telling a good story with Juice. Please don't go back to WWE. But anyway, he can do what he wants his career. Juice wins. It was okay. And now we get to really, really good stuff. The last 3 matches, including this particular one, was exceptional. Or were exceptional. Tomohiro Ishii versus Kota Ibushi. And my God, this match. Ooh, so many strikes, so many forearms, so many kicks. Huge moonsault by Kota Ibushi in the crowd, off like some staging, or part of like, the higher level and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Kota is insane. There was some no selling, of course, which I guess told a good story. It wasn't overly done, so it was all right. It was no selling by both the guys. This is one you just really have to go watch. There really isn't any way I can fully describe just how fun this was. I'm not saying it's their greatest match ever. I know they've had matches in the past, but this was so damn good. Ishii still performing well into his 40s. Kota performing well as he's in his mid-30s. Getting to later 30s. Of course, that's what happens when you get older. After great delayed superplex off the top by Ishii, there was more groundwork, some more hard hits, stuff like that. And then Kamigoye. Kamigoye, I think is how you say it. 1, 2, 3. Kota Ibushi gets victory, and Kota Ibushi has 6 points now. Ishii is probably going to maybe get one more victory out of this thing, but he's had some great performances. Him and Goto actually, Ishii and Goto may have actually had the match of the tournament so far. I mean, I'm going to have to come up with it's going to be hard to come up with the top 10. I might have to come up with the top 15 for matches of the G1. But my God, it has been just really, really, more often than not, the matches have delivered, despite what I said about the first 2 B-block matches. So yeah, Ishii versus Ibushi, check this out. Really, really fun. Very good stuff. And Ibushi gained the victory is certainly great. Now we move on to Goto versus Naito. Interesting. It never seemed like Goto really had a chance, even though he had a reverse GTR and had some good moves in there. It seemed like it was Naito's match from the get-go. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they didn't even make it seem like Goto could possibly get the victory. Now, Goto's had some good showings. Again, what I just said about the match with Ishii. Guardrail spots, of course. Neck focus by Naito. It's very, very good exchanges. Don't get me wrong. Goto didn't get squashed. It just seemed like, okay, the way they told the story is what it is. 2 Destinos, though. Goto kicked out the first Destino, Naito didn't capture the full exchange or the full impact of the move. And then Destino number 2, 1, 2, 3. And Naito has 8 points. I believe Goto has 4. This was a good match. Wasn't quite as good as Ishii versus Ibushi, but still good match. And then we have Omega versus Sanada. What do you think you're going to get with these 2 guys? Come on, seriously? It was great stuff. Go out of your way to watch this one. It maybe wasn't as good as Ishii versus Ibushi. And maybe I just set my gauge too high as far as the matches afterwards. Omega, I believe, is working with a crack in his heel, which hopefully he's going to be okay and get some time off after the G1. I mean, I know he's a champion, but I believe they have their destruction shows or destruction, and I forget the exact city, but those are happening like beginning of September. So hopefully there's some time off, and Omega can heal up, and everybody can heal up after this G1. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Omega focused on Sanada's knee. There were good exchanges. His heel did come into play, though. Omega's heel did come into play. Even though he's hitting V-triggers, he was favoring that heel at times. And then Sanada was still hitting some great moves. I was hoping Sanada would get the victory so you could tell even a better story of Sanada having a victory over Omega. Naito didn't. And then you build on that for Sanada versus Naito a little bit later in the tournament. I think that's the 8th that they're going to be facing off. 8th or 10th of August. But Omega got the victory. 1 Wing Angel. Omega has 10. He's made a clean sweep of the B block so far. And Sanada has 6. I'm going to say B plus for this, because of the last 3 matches. Now, yeah, Sabre Jr., Tamatonga one I didn't really care for. Juice versus Yano was okay. I'm not discounting that one so much. It was nice that Juice got a victory. He should, I think, end up winning the rest of his matches in the G1, or at least win one more so he can end up with a couple victories. And then he got challengers lined up for the U.S. title. But it was fun. B plus, not the greatest, but that Ishii versus Ibushi match did tick this up a bit, and the last 2 matches were particularly good. So, what do you guys got to say? Do you agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. And again, the Night 11 review will be up sometime Monday afternoon, so I will see you soon.